Today on the Wild Palm Beaches, we're at a very special place where Florida native wildlife is rehabilitated and nurtured. This is Busch Wildlife Sanctuary. Joining me today is Amy Kite, the Executive Director of Busch Wildlife Sanctuary. Amy, tell us a little bit about the sanctuary here. When did it start and how big is the area?
Sure, my pleasure. So we started in 1983 actually, down in Miami. And we were down there, we're a wildlife hospital first and foremost. That's how we started, taking in sick, injured, and orphaned wild animals native to the state of Florida. And the goal is to get them back out in the wild when they're feeling better. We realize that a lot of our animals are impacted by humans. So not only do we have the hospital, but we also have an environmental education portion that also complements our mission. We're up to almost 6,000 animals a year that we take in and over 200,000 visitors that come see us annually. So it's really grown.
Oh, that's incredible. And what are your most frequent patients?
Possums.
Possums.
Virginia opossum ranks #1 historically year after year. And that's because if you think about it, they're a marsupial. They're the only marsupial or pouched mammal that we have here. So if one mom gets hit by a car or attacked by a dog or something like that, that can be up to 14 new patients with just one case. So each year we average somewhere between 400 and 500 baby opossums that come in. Our main goal, being a hospital, is really kind of putting a Band-Aid on the situation. We estimate that about 90% of our animals every year are impacted by humans, and that's why they end up here. So like I said, hit by car, attacked by someone's pet, kept illegally as a pet, trapped in fishing line. And so it's so important that not only do we Band-Aid, but that we're also trying to find a cure. And education really has to be that cure. Understanding these animals, what is in your yard, what the baby season is, what the breeding season is, why they're behaving a certain way, and how you can help to make sure that not only are you keeping them safe, but also keeping yourself safe and keeping our environment healthy and thriving.
What stands out as some of the most amazing stories that you can tell about recovery?
I mean, there's just all kinds of different and unique ones. One of my favorite is actually one of our animal ambassadors. So it's not one that's been released back out in the wild, but it was my first experience with the youngest baby bald eagle that I had ever seen in my career. At 6 weeks old, he had cancer that had overtaken the side of his face. So we were able to go in, remove that. He does lose his eye, unfortunately, in the process because it was damaged from the tumor, but now he's an educational ambassador. Not only is it a story of our wildlife, but there's a survival aspect. Children who are dealing with serious illnesses and a story of hope and survival. And not only to mention cancer survivors, you know, there's so many factors when I bring him out to programs that people connect to this animal. And yeah, he didn't go back in the wild, but the amount of eagles that now are appreciated because of him, I love him.
And so if somebody comes across an injured animal or an injured bird and they don't know what to do with it, what is the procedure for somebody?
Call us. First and foremost, technology is amazing now. Take a video, take a picture, send it to us. A lot of times these animals don't necessarily need intervention, but we as humans don't understand the natural behaviors and we want to help. So reach out to us, let us know what's going on, and we can talk you through. Leave it alone, move it somewhere safe, bring it to us, whatever that case may be, we can help you get into the end goal.
Well, thank you very much. It's great learning about the sanctuary. We're not the stars of the show though, so we're going to head out and meet the real stars of the show with Amy. So who have we got here, Amy?
This is Risotto.
Okay.
We actually have 2 baby alligators named Ramen and Risotto. We have a
interesting names.
Yeah. It's what happens when you let the little campers name the animals. You get all kinds of fun names. This little guy was actually being kept illegally as a pet. So here in Florida, if an alligator is fed by a human just one time, the state considers them too dangerous to be released because they've lost their fear of us. And so therefore, if somebody does have one, it's been interesting. We get a lot of cases because of social media. People think they're cool and they post their animals and then they get caught because the agencies are always trolling those sites looking, and they come to us and we use them for our education programs.
And here in South Florida, we've got 2 species of crocodilians. We've got the American alligator and we've also got the American crocodile. Can you tell us a little bit about the difference between the two?
So the gators are pretty easy. I love to point out their smile.
Yeah.
So when alligators close their mouth, you only see their top teeth, so they always look like they're smiling at you. Crocodiles, you'll see the top and bottom teeth.
Right.
So they look like they're growling. And general rule of thumb, the crocs are usually a bit more nasty than the gators. So it holds true as far as smiling versus growling.
Right.
The gators have this cool kind of rounded snouts at the tip there, whereas the crocs, it's more of a pointed. And their coloring is different. Where you find them is different. So gators are going to be in freshwater. So they're this dark, almost black with these kind of yellow bands for camouflage. These fade as he gets older and he doesn't need to hide anymore. Crocodiles are more kind of grayish, greenish, brown. So they've just got a different environment, different way of blending in.
And Risotto is what, about 1.5 years now?
About 1.5 years. He's actually a little small for his size. They hatch out about 8 inches, hit a year. They're about 1 foot there, and then roughly 1 foot a year on for that for a few years.
Oh, he's a handsome little guy.
Great ambassador for us.
Very cool. Taylor is on the education staff here at Busch Wildlife Sanctuary, and she's going to tell us a little bit about great horned owls.
So this is who is one of our education permanent ambassadors here at the sanctuary. He is here because somebody actually tried to keep him as an illegal pet. So unfortunately, he is too used to humans and does not know how to hunt on his own anymore, which is why he has to stay here. Great horned owls are the largest owls that we have here in Florida, and they, being so large, are actually the main predators of skunks. So they actually have a special eyelid called the nictitating membrane that protects their eyelids, and they have a very poor sense of smell and taste. So they are very easily able to grab those skunks, in addition to any other smaller rodents as well. Now those little tufts of feathers that you see on his head, a lot of times people confuse those for horns or for, ears and stuff, but they are actually just little things called plumicorns. They are just little feathers, and they actually help our owls show emotion as well as blend into the environment. So you very commonly see them in smaller owls as well because they have a lot more predators.
And this is a male, right? A female will be substantially bigger.
Yes, so the females tend to be a lot larger than the males because the females are actually the ones protecting the nesting site as well as keeping the babies warm, while the males have to be smaller because they have to be more agile to be able to go out and get the food.
Now, they are really voracious predators, great horned owls, and in fact, there have been cases of great horned owls preying on domestic cats, even small dogs that get out at night. So incredibly powerful, and most other birds of prey would certainly avoid this particular owl because they are so voracious.
Yeah, a lot of times they do tend to be the main predator also to a lot of the other smaller owls and the smaller birds of prey, because being birds of prey, they usually don't have a lot of predators, but this is typically one of the main predators to a lot of the other smaller owls because they're so large and have such those sharp talons, which is why I have this nice thick leather glove, because a lot of times you can even feel their pressure even through this 3-layer of leather material.
So this is an animal, Taylor, that is so well adapted to its ability to hunt at night, right? It's got these forward-facing large eyes, but one of the most amazing things about owls is their ability to have silent flight. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so being such large birds of prey out during the nighttime, they want to be able to sneak up on their prey easily. And also, again, being smaller owls, they want to be able to get away from their prey and their predators. So what they have is something called silent flight. So essentially, when you usually hear a bird flying, such as a pigeon and vulture, it's actually the turbulence going up against their wings, making all this noise. These guys actually have microscopic hooks on each of their individual feathers, which actually breaks up that wind turbulence. And also, they have very large wings compared to their body, allowing them to make less flapping. Combine those together, you have silent flight.
And then look at the size of those talons. Really, really big talons, and that beautiful hooked razor-sharp beak, which will help them dispatch their prey. All in all, an incredible killing machine of the night.
Yes, for sure.
Full access.
Porter, I see you. This is Penelope. She says, ooh, that could be fun to play with. She's like, he stinks. I want to get him.
On you.
Oh, Bignon. Porty, come on. Oh, let me stretch it out.
Hi.
Porter and Penelope actually came into us when they were itty bitty and their eyes were so closed. someone had been seeing a bobcat in their yard more frequently, and they panicked, and they took it upon themselves to illegally trap and move the animal. And so that orphaned the babies. Unfortunately, we didn't have a foster bobcat, so they were raised by humans and just got too used to humans because that's all they ever knew. And so the decision was made to turn them into ambassadors for their species. And
Cute.
adorable.
It's
He
so
still has his
adorable.
claws. Ouch. Thank you.
They are so gorgeous. Wow. Amazing.
Everybody always likes to ask, oh, are they tame? I never use that word. They're tolerant,
Right. Right.
And mostly they'll tolerate us for so long, and then when their tolerance runs out, they are wild animals, just like anything else.
Right.
He says, oh yeah, you're mine now. You might get an ear piercing. That's okay. It's a great story.
He's licking my hair.
Porter, you better behave. Are you starting to feel the? He's keeping you.
That's all right. That's all right. Hey. Stay tuned for wild palm beaches. I have so much cat saliva in my hair. It's great. It's a new hair gel for me.